y'all, and welcome back to another new video. It has actually been quite a long time since I have filmed a new video, and that's because I was away doing something called woofing, which is something I will talk about later on in a video I'm filming later this week. For the next 6 Mondays, I'm going to be trying something a little bit different. I'm going to be filming a series on the 6 different areas of wellness. This is my first time trying something like that, so I hope it goes good. The 6 areas of wellness are emotional, environmental, intellectual, physical, social, and spiritual. And for the first video, we're going to be starting off with physical wellness. Physical wellness is any attitude or behavior that optimizes the physical functioning of the body. And the goal of it overall is to basically decrease stress, lower your risk of disease, and just optimize your overall physical health. And there's a huge correlation between stress and your risk of disease. So it's really important to make having a low stress life one of your main priorities, because this can lower your risk of all sorts of things, from heart disease to certain types of cancer to mental illness and just a bunch of different things. Alzheimer's, diabetes. Stress plays a role in pretty much every chronic illness. So there are several different ways to increase your physical wellness that I'll be talking about in this video, and the first one of these is to get active. A sedentary lifestyle is basically any lifestyle where you're spending a lot of your waking hours sitting or lying down. And a sedentary lifestyle is really linked to a lot of different chronic illnesses as well, such as heart disease, obesity, and cancer. Make it a goal to be physically active 150 minutes a week. And that really doesn't break down to that many minutes a day. So, I mean, that's only working out for an hour 3 times a week, or even like half an hour 6 days a week or something like that. And it doesn't have to be super high intensity. Like, even taking walks can be a part of this physical activity. But really, you can do anything you enjoy. So I really like doing yoga because I feel like it's sort of that killing 2 birds with 1 stone sort of thing, because it helps me de-stress as well as is physical activity, because I do sort of a high intensity type of yoga. There's lots of different kinds, ranging from super relaxing and like just kind of deep stretches to very physically active. You can also incorporate little things like taking the stairs instead of the elevator, doing walking meetings if your job ever goes back, or just like getting in little walks throughout the day. Also really important to just maintain your body, and so by this I mean like your joints and muscles, because as you age, how well these things have been taken care of throughout your life is really going to impact your quality of life. A lot of like fitness advice or weight loss advice, which is like oftentimes BS, pushes cardio on us, and cardio is super important for like a healthy heart and cardiovascular system. But to keep your bone density strong and good as you start to age, it's really important to also do some sort of resistance training. This can range from weightlifting, swimming, yoga. Those are actually all resistance too. It's anything where there's some resistance against your muscles. So yes, swimming counts, biking, yoga, weightlifting, all of that counts. And it's really important to be doing this as well as cardio. It's also really important to get enough calcium and vitamin D. And so obviously calcium's in things like milk, but I know a lot of people are sort of moving away from drinking milk. So other things that have calcium in them that are vegetarian or vegan are broccoli, cabbage, okra, rice or oat milk, tofu, tahini, or anything with sesame seeds in it, and brown bread. It's also really important to be eating enough vitamin D, and vitamin D is really not in a lot of foods, and it's actually pretty much it's in like liver and stuff, but like you probably don't need that. And it's also really difficult to get the vitamin D that you need through sunlight alone. Really one of the only foods that's kind of like a normal food that is naturally high in vitamin D is mushrooms. And a little tip is if you leave it outside in the sun, it will actually become higher in vitamin D. So if you dehydrate them in the sun instead of like the oven, that is a tip. But some people don't even like mushrooms, and like who's just gonna eat mushrooms all day? So really, if you want enough vitamin D, you're probably gonna need to be taking a supplement. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy that you're like buying from some Instagram ad that's really cute. You can get them very cheap at like CVS or Walgreens. So another thing that's important for your physical well-being is to be maintaining a healthy weight. And I don't really want to get too into this because I know that weight can be a super touchy topic, but the advice that I would give you is don't focus on how your body looks and buy into that message that like there's a certain way that healthy looks, and mostly just focus on how you feel and it from a health and wellness perspective, and weight is not a direct correlate to health. Also really important to get enough sleep. There's actually studies that correlate chronically undersleeping to dying earlier. So sleep is super important, and I know a lot of people struggle with getting enough sleep, and so it's really important to practice good sleep hygiene. So a couple tips I would have about that are to wake up and go to bed at the same time every night. And you might think that this is like not that important, but it really does make a difference. Even if you're getting 8 hours of sleep, but your sleep schedule is different every night, you're not going to feel as rested as if you go to bed and wake up at the same time every night. Of course, you still need to be getting like 7 to 9 hours of sleep. It can be a very personal thing how much sleep you feel like you need, but having a set schedule can really help. Some tips to make it easier to go to bed is don't exercise super close to bedtime. I know some people like to exercise in the evening, but make sure it's at least like 2 hours before bedtime, because exercising releases endorphins, which can increase energy, which is obviously kind of counterproductive if you're trying to get to sleep. Eating right before bed it's been disproven that affects your weight, but once again, eating does also give energy. So like maybe don't eat something right before you go to bed, like within an hour or two of bedtime. Also, don't do anything in your bed besides sleep. This one's really hard. I know everybody likes to watch like Netflix and stuff, but if you only sleep in your bed, your brain will literally link your bed with sleep and you'll start to feel more tired when you're in your bed. So keep everything else out of the bed. Other things that are important is limit your alcohol intake. A little bit of alcohol has been possibly reported to be good for you. That's very controversial, and I would recommend doing your own research and doing what feels right for you. But we all know that a lot of alcohol is obviously bad for us. It can lead to cirrhosis of the liver, which can drastically decrease your lifespan. And that's not even getting into all of the mental health issues that overconsumption of alcohol can cause. Obviously, don't smoke cigarettes. No cigarettes are good. It's not even just about limiting the usage. Obviously, another huge component of physical wellness is to eat healthy. And eating healthy and eating to lose weight can very often be different things. So the advice I'm giving has absolutely nothing to do with weight loss or weight management. So use olive oil instead of any other sort of oil. This has been proven to be the best for us. In 2 of the 3 blue zones, which a blue zone is where people live the longest, they eat so much olive oil, it's unreal. They literally eat about a liter of olive oil a week, which is 12 tablespoons a day, which is absurd. So olive oil is super linked to a lot of good health benefits, including possibly a longer lifespan. Instead of like butter, like substitute olive oil for butter, and honestly it really makes things taste good. Like if you're sauteing vegetables, use olive oil, it'll taste great. Cut back on sodium. Sodium is not good for our heart, and there's so much better and more interesting spices you can use to flavor your food besides salt. So you just need to get a little bit creative. Choose complex carbs over white ones. So we really are sold this lie that carbs are bad for us, and that is so not true. But refined carbs have all of their nutrients taken out of them. So like white bread, white pasta, white rice, all of that has all of the good stuff taken out. But brown rice, brown bread, other complex carbs, anything like brown, that is so good. Limit your added sugar and processed food in general. So anybody that's going to tell you that all sugar is bad for you, aka the keto diet, they also don't understand science. Any diet that tells you to avoid fruit, you should run for the hills from. Fruit is obviously amazing for you. So many of our vital nutrients you can only get through fruit. So that kind of sugar is good. I'm talking about like the added sugar that they're just pouring into things to make it taste sweeter. And all processed food has a bunch of chemicals in it and is probably just not best for you. So choosing whole food that oftentimes doesn't come in a package is going to be what's best for you. Also, packaged foods that tell you that they're organic can get away with lying to a certain degree. So only like a certain percentage of it has to be organic. What you're not eating can sometimes be more detrimental to your health than what you are eating. So you really need to make sure you're switching up the foods you eat, which can get expensive if you're trying to do that every day. I usually pick a couple vegetables and a couple fruits a week that I'm gonna buy at the grocery store, so I don't have to buy like 10 of each a week because that can be really expensive, and I eat those that week, but then the next week I'm gonna pick a different one. So this is making sure that I'm kind of switching up the nutrients that I'm getting every week rather than just getting the same nutrients every week, because then you're gonna have a deficiency in other ones. So it's really important to just like make sure you're eating a wide variety of food. I know especially when you're like young and broke, it can get really easy to be stuck in the same like 3 things you go back to, but you can find a lot of like cheap, like I usually look up like 4 ingredient recipes or something like that, and that helps like save money, but also ensuring that you're getting all the nutrients that you need. And then of course you need to control your stress level. So I can make a whole video about stress, but some quick tips that have been proven scientifically to work. They are not pseudoscience. Meditation is proven to help with stress. It is proven to help with depression. I am not telling you just meditate and all your depression will be cured. If you are depressed because you've gone through trauma in your life, you need to see a therapist, but meditation can help. Meditation, exercise, especially mind-body exercises like Tai Chi or yoga, staying organized so that you are on top of your life, journaling, deep breathing, and taking time to relax are all different things you can do to help manage your stress level. Alright, so that's actually all I have for this video. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and come back later this week for different videos, and come back next Monday for the next episode in this series. Alright, thank you, and bye y'all.